Hi everybody, Jo here again. Thanks for joining me today. So lovely to have your company. I hope you're keeping well. So important we all keep well at the minute, isn't it? So today I've come in with we're going to have a bit of a blending session. I've had some messages from a few of our new lovely followers and members to our Lavinia family, and they've been asking how to do some of the blended backgrounds. And I thought it's quite a nice thing, no matter how long you've been crafting. I always love going back to blending backgrounds, and I think it's something that we can all even change up by altering the colours. Now today I've gone for a different colour scheme. As you know, I love yellows and oranges, and they blend really well with brown and red, but today I thought we'd mix it up a bit, and we're going to add some green into the mix. And also what's nice is we're going to mix one of the new stamps, the gorgeous Garden Poppy, and we're going to mix that with some of our older stamps. Again, the beauty of Lavinia stamps is you can mix and match your old and your new. They're timeless, absolutely timeless. And again, this I've done as a birthday card with one of our birthday wishes, but I've left this area so that really you could put any sentiment you wanted there. And I think this would make a gorgeous design for birthday, get well, new home. Just thinking of you, just a card for a friend, a notelet maybe. I think it's always nice to get a card in the post, something we need to get back to doing. And what we're going to do is quite often I've done a card where we've just literally stamped along the bottom, and it does make a lovely card. This, I thought we'd go along the edge. I'm sort of mixing one of the videos I did a while ago, we did an along the edge design. And as I say, we've also done along the bottom design. So for this, we're actually going to mix the two and almost give ourselves a frame here in this corner. And then we've got the space there for the sentiment. Now this, I'm using a 6x6, as you know. I love this size of card blank just because it's nice to post. You're not talking expensive postage. So we're actually going to use a piece of multifarious card, and this is a 5-inch square, just because it fits nicely on the 6x6. But again, you could take this to a smaller design. This would work well in an ATC, or you could even do it for a larger design. Now we're going to start off as normal by putting our black Sharpie line round the edge. As you know, I just like to do this at the beginning and then it's done. So I'm just coming in with my kitchen roll, again holding it down. It's really important to hold it down. And then it's just confidence, just along the edge. And again, make sure you've got your copy of paper underneath, because obviously the main bit will go on the copy of paper. Don't do it on your best dining table, will you? I know some of you craft on your dining table, so. And then what we're going to do our blending. So we'll put that out of the way. And for this, I'm going to use oxides just because they were the ones that were on my desk. And I've chosen 3 colours. So for my yellow, I'm using mustard seed. For the orange, I'm going Crackling Campfire, or Burning Bonfire as it is in my head, but I must try and get the proper names. And the green, I'm going for Rustic Wilderness. It's quite a dark green, this, but I just thought I wanted a bit sort of dramatic. And what I tend to do is just put the colours on my mat like this. Now, a few of you have asked what sort of tool is best for blending. Now, I've got to be honest, I love my Lavinia stencil brushes, but these give quite a light effect. I tend to use them with stencils and for light blending. This, I want quite a lot of colour, so I would go for either a round blending tool or a smoothie. Now, today I've chosen for all smoothies, just to show you how it works well with a smoothie, because last time I did blending I used the round blending tool, so just to show you that you can use all of them. So I'm going to start with my yellow. Again, important, have your piece of kitchen roll at hand just so you don't get dirty finger marks on your card. Now I always do circular motions, it just gets the ink nicely onto your, be it blending tool or smoothie. And I know what my yellow area here in this corner, so I'm just going to come straight on and add some yellow. Just again, circular motions, just because I know it'll blend nicely. And there, oh look at that, that's almost a complete circle, isn't it? Don't they say you're mad if you can draw a proper circle? Well, there we go, you've seen it here, I'm mad. Mind you, I always knew I was mad, didn't I? So now we're going to come in with the orange, again, circular motions, and I'm going to start blending off the card, and I'm just going to go all the way around. Now, I'm not looking for perfect blending at this point. I'm just adding the colour onto the card. Now, where I started off, I'll have a deeper colour, so I just want to blend some of that colour round, because obviously you've got more ink when you start off. I'm just going to blend that out a little. And then I'm going to come in with my yellow again and just blend that over the orange, just almost to fuzzy that edge a bit. And as you can see, that blends beautifully. Now, got a few little bits there. Sometimes if you catch the card, you might get an odd little bit off your smoothie. My suggestion is don't brush it with your hand, even though you're tempted. Try and either blow it off or have a little brush, a soft brush, to actually brush it, because if you use your hand you may get marks, and again we're trying to minimise marks on our card, aren't we? So we're going to come in now with the green, circular motions again. I'm going to start in the corner, and I'm actually going to work my way, because I've got quite a lot of ink on this and it's quite deep, as you can see. As we get less round, we've got less ink on, so it will be lighter as you're using the ink up. And I know that sounds obvious, but sometimes, especially if you're a new crafter, you won't think of that. So here where I've got the deepest colour, again, I just want to blend that out a bit more. And I'm slowly going to blend towards that orange look. And again, we'll just blend it into the orange. And I'm being mindful to always hold with that kitchen roll. So just circular motions. Now, if I want a little bit more, I'm just going to pick a little bit up off my mat, just for here where it's lighter. And then let's see how we're looking. What I'm going to do is just come in with my orange smoothie now and just go over where we've got that border, where the two colours join. Now this, obviously, because the colours aren't necessarily perfect at matching, you will get a slightly almost muddy edge, but that's fine. I'm going to use that as almost like my hazy effect, so don't worry about that. Just want to show you how these colours and how you can get a finished piece, even though you think, look, I don't want you to think when you start blending, oh, it hasn't blended perfectly. Don't worry about that at all. Now, what I want you to do now, if you're working with me, is take your yellow again, and we're going to go over that middle bit with the yellow, but then we're going to go over the whole area. And what this does is it sort of brings a yellowy hue to this whole area, and it brightens it up, and it almost makes it look as though that it's that haze, and that haze from the sun has gone over the whole. Can you see that? And it just makes it look like we've got that lovely haze. Now again, I've got to be honest, I'd be tempted to actually make a few of these backgrounds. If I was making one, I'd make a few, just because then you've got them in ready. If I just brush that. Now, sometimes you can spritz this with water. Now, I've got to be honest, we are going to add water, but I'm going to do it at the end. Now, it's, again, different people do different ways. You could flick water now, but for me, I found that if I stamp, I'd have to wait till it was dry before I did my stamping, but if I stamp, it never looks as good where the water's been, where it's full bleached. So for me, I'm going to do my stamping now and then add the water. I always think if I explain why I'm doing things, it will make it clearer, but it's, you know, horses for courses. If you're happy flicking water and then doing your stamping, that's fine. I always say you do it the way that works for you. And I'm going to use 3 colours of Versafine Clair ink. I'm going to use the Nocturne, But I'm also going to use, I've bought this new colour, Summertime, and I was dying to use that. So I'm going to use that. And again, Shady Lady has to come in. And those of you that read the comments about the candle YouTube will know where Shady Lady fits in. Haha, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more. Right, so what we're going to do is we'll start our stamping and we're going to come down the side and along the base, aren't we? So let's bring in our garden poppy. And this is just such a beautiful stamp. I adore this. And again, I'm going to turn my work on the side just because for me, it's easier. And I'm going to start with my black ink because my garden poppy is the main start of the show and I want to stamp that first. And again, I'm using my lovely new Lavinia acrylic block. And nice light tapping with the black ink. And remember, when you're using your florals, we'll put that one off the page, you don't want them to look like soldiers in a row. I always say you've got to remember that flowers, they're natural. And if you just put them all in a straight line, all at the same angle, all at the same height, they will just look like soldiers in a row. So we want to look them nice and natural. And what we want to try and build up is almost so it looks like, whenever you've seen those lovely poppy meadows, there's lots of different flowers growing naturally in grasses. And although there's a lot, you don't get the feeling that it's over the top. It's not like a pizza. You don't think you can't see the wood for the trees. So we almost want to get a few different stamps used, but we want to keep it looking nice, not like it's over the top, like we've thrown everything at it. We want to try and get some perspective in the design. Now again, I've done an odd number because if you remember, the brain loves odd numbers because it adds another one, gets an even number, and that makes it happy, produces pheromones. And so that makes your brain happy, makes you feel happy. So that's why we use our odd numbers. So that's our happiness for today there. In fact, we've got the word happiness, haven't we? We could always add that. Now, that's given me the nice framework. And what I'm going to add next is, when I looked at my stamps, these lovely dandelions, and I wanted something in the background. When I say about perspective, if I bring the finished card in, if I just bring it close, now you know I'm not very good with my camera work, can you see the dandelion is here? We've got one here, and I want them in the background, so you don't necessarily notice them straight away, look, but they are there. And again, that's going to help with perspective. And that's where this lovely new colour of mine comes in. I have mentioned before, what I tend to do whenever I put an order in with Tracy, I have a look for what colour Versafine Clair I haven't got. And this was one I hadn't got. And as you know, I adore oranges. So this had to be in my basket. So really, that's the excuse for doing this card today, to be honest, just so I can use it. So I'm thinking, let's have one of these here off the page. Now it shows up more on the green, obviously, and it will show up less on the orange, but we want it there in the distance, don't we? That's nice. And in fact, I think I'll stop with that one. And I'm going to bring in, I like the little one on the set as well. There's 3. It's a beautiful set, this. Mind you, they all are. I say that about all of them, don't I? And let's have this one again. We'll just change the angle. One there. One over here. And then one, no, I'm going to, up there. Yeah. I think just popping down here. And then that gives me that shape. I like that. If I put one here, it would be too much going up this side, and I want to keep that shape. So I've got the space here for my sentiment. So I'm happy with that. It is funny, before I make a design, I get all my stamps out that I'm going to use, and sometimes I get so many stamps out and then I end up not using them because I've just got so many. but there is that point when you have to just say no, stop. So we're going to use the field grass, and again, that's going to look beautiful on here. And again, with the field grass, what I'm going to do is bring in the two colours. So we're going to use the green, the Shady Lady, or Shady Lane as she should be. And that's going to give us perspective. And this is such a lovely light stamp. And the green also flows because we've used green in our design. And again, just altering the height. Put another one there. And the green on the green almost, because it's tone on tone, looks like you've used second generation. So again, it's not in your face. It's that nice, it's helping us looking like there's depth. Like we've got those nice wispy grasses, you know, like the sea. That now we definitely need another one there. And then I think just need that coming in there. Yeah, that's nice. Now for me, there's just a space here. I love this depth here, but we need something to ground it here. And I'm hoping you can see and you'll be agreeing with me. And that's where, you'd think there was a plan to this, wouldn't you? That's where our friend, the orchard grass, is going to come in. Because this is our smaller field grass. And what we're going to do to help with our depth, we're going to go back to the black ink. I'll turn it back that way. And when we use the black, it will bring this stamping more to the foreground. You see? And so that helps with the depth. So it knocks our other grass further away and it instantly gives us perspective. So if ever you're struggling with your perspective, just think of either using a larger stamp and a smaller stamp. That's one way. And another way is your colours, stamping first in a colour and then secondly in the black. And the black will take precedence and come further forward. I hope that makes sense. I think sometimes I just rabbit away, to be honest. I'm sure that's why some of you watch me at night and it sends you to sleep. Right, and I just need this one up here. And then let's have a look. So hopefully you can see how that now has filled that space but grounded it, and it's given us depth. And also, if you were slightly bothered about the blend there, it almost looks hazy now, and you don't notice the blend. So we'll give that one a wipe. We'll pop that back, trying to be good and actually put my stamps back on the acetate on the side, and I'm just going to turn that over and blot. Now remember what we say, we always blot. Now I'm going to leave this one without a sentiment. If you're thinking about your sentiments, again, remember your acetate. So it's like for this, I could have a look and see how my sentiment goes. But sometimes I like to have cards that I leave without a sentiment, so that this would be a lovely topper just to be used when I needed it. So this is going to be my emergency card. What I am going to do is just come in with those finishing details that we use. So I'm going to come in with my white first, my white gel pen. And again, just want to be mindful, I don't want to spoil my work. Now I'm hoping my head doesn't come over. If it does, I'm sorry. So what I'm doing is on my poppy that I've stamped in black, I'm just going to go over the lines, trace it as drawn the detail for us. So I'm just going to add some highlights, but only on my poppy. And again, you will take more time with this. So we'll just put a couple of highlights there and just one more up here. I do love poppies. Just a shame they don't love my garden. And then what I'm going to do with my gold Signo, I'm just going to pick up on my grass. So the grass I've stamped in black, not the one I've stamped in the green, because that's in the distance. And I only want this bit of almost sparkle on the one in the foreground. And again, that just helps me distinguish the foreground, helps with my perspective. Just going to turn it round. So again, I'm just dotting, just so it looks as though, you know, when you get that grass and it's sort of got the dew on first thing in the morning. So this could be either a sunrise or a sunset, and it's just catching that glint. And I'm just going to add a little bit on there, only because that's near the sun there, and I'm thinking that would glint. And I just want to try, you know, I'm not very good at this, and lift it up so you can, hopefully that just shows you how that pen really does catch that. Now, like I say, now this is the stage where I'm going to flick my water. So I've got my fan brush in my pot, and I just want to shake some off because I don't want really big blobs of water. And I'm just going to lightly, from a distance, and this is where I'm adding my faux bleaching. Just clean my mat. Now, all this stamping will remain intact because I've used a permanent ink. So remember, that's your difference. Your Versafine, it's your permanent ink. So no matter how much water I splash at this, that will all remain. The integrity of the stamping will be fine. And then that way, I can leave that and let it dry naturally, because the faux bleaching, especially on this multifarious card, is best if it's left. If I want to add any more, let's just add a few tiny more just round the base here. And so I can monitor how much water, I can gauge it, I can watch as it starts to faux bleach. And I must admit, I'm really happy with that. I think it's such a lovely design and such a lovely mix of our new and old stamps. And as I say, I've got my space there ready to add my sentiment. I might even just add one of the butterflies. Now, just in case you're wondering, I need to tell you which set the butterflies are from. Well, actually, it's just called Butterflies, and this is a lovely set of 4, and the silhouette butterflies. So again, use your acetate. You could just add one if you wanted, look. So if I decide not to put a sentiment, I can just stamp a butterfly. But again, I'm going to leave that till later when I need this card. So I hope you like that. And I hope it inspires you to have a go, have a play, get your inks out. And as always, I'll put my finished card next to the one we've just made, and you can see the two together. Maybe try different colours, but I have to say I'm quite pleased with the way the greens worked. What do you think? Let me know. Oh, but be kind, please. So, thank you for joining me today. It's always lovely to spend time with you. I do feel very honoured and very grateful that we can spend time together. You take care. I hope you have a good week. I hope you get some time to do some crafting. Maybe try some blending. If you do, I'd love you to pop it on our Facebook page and tag me in so I can see what you're getting up to. I always like to see what you're getting up to. So you take care. God bless everybody. Love and hugs. Bye for now.